Does your tech hit the rev limiter? We've got you covered. Your business doesn't stop, neither should your IT. Servers crash, software freezes, networks lag. We overtake all issues when we're behind the wheel. Whether you're a startup, a growing team, or a full-blown operation, we keep your system's motor running, your data safe, and your crew running like clockwork. Partnering with IBM to accelerate innovation, security, and scalability. Don't wait for a disaster. Start up with IT support that will put rubber to road. Fast support, real people, minimal downtime, advanced technical solutions.
Welcome to the Advanced Technical Solutions Cup Series, broadcasted by Racer Nexus. Ecrl is made possible by our sponsors, featuring our
When it's time to fix it, find it, or upgrade it, trust the experts. At M&M Auto Parts, we've got over 150,000 parts in stock and ready for delivery. And for the hands-on builders and bargain hunters, stop by Rupert's You Pull It, where we give you the freedom to pull the parts yourself and save big. Visit any one of our 3 locations in Virginia, or visit us online at mmauto.com to browse our grand inventory. With over 60 years of experience, when it comes to auto parts, we know how to pick them. Don't wait. Race on down to your nearest M&M Auto Parts location, or find us on the web and give us a shout. M&M Auto, family-owned, quality parts.
Welcome to the Advanced Technical Solutions Cup Series, broadcasted by Racer Nexus. Ecrl is made possible by our sponsors, featuring our premier sponsor, Advanced Technical Solutions. Need fast IT support for your business? Find them on the web at atsolutionsllc.com. If metal music is your style, check out Midland Struggler on YouTube and Spotify. Custom creating to fit your needs, Crafts and Stuff LLC will see to it that you're happy and pleased. Search Crafts and Stuff on Facebook and send a message to start your custom order today. If you're looking for custom tees, handmade stickers, cups, accessories, and more, check out Rough Vinyls at roughvinyls.com for ready-to-sell items. Land and CNSB, local custom hangable, wearable, and functional art. Ever wanted a custom hand-painted cup, helmet, or even a mailbox? Check out Combs Custom Paint on their Etsy store to get your very own hand-painted product. Now, from the broadcast booth, the boys at Racer Nexus.
Well, this location might be the home of the Cookout 400, but tonight it is round 7 of the Advanced Technical Solutions East Coast Race League Next Gen Series live from Richmond Raceway. Hello everybody, Alex Goldschmidt up here in the Racer Nexus Global Broadcast Centre. Joining me on the booth on colour commentary and our producer behind the scenes, a very good evening, a very good afternoon, Rob Campbell, welcome in.
Hey Alex, happy to be here. Richmond, little short track racing always brings some excitement to Racer's Nexus.
It does indeed. So this 3/4 mile oval, which has been around since 1946, is going to see 175 laps of racing action as we are here for the Midland Struggler 130. More to the point, we are going to have two stages as well on lap 42, lap 84. It is going to be close in terms of good old NASCAR Cup racing when it comes to getting to the high side, to the low side, whether the drivers are running a little bit tight with the setups on the cars or whether they're running a little bit loose. But of course we have the Holy Trinity so far. So it is the Midland Struggler 130 here at Richmond Raceway, just off East Laburnum Avenue. And it has been owned by NASCAR itself since 2019. Let's take you through the starting order. It's going to be William Kern on the front row in the Chevy number 31 with Billy Jordan in the number 14 Toyota alongside on the front row. Tony Iverson in the 32, the 13, and then 77 Casey Gross rounds out row 2. Dean Stonehouse and Randy Butler in the number 47 Red Bull Toyota rounds out row 3. The monster number 24 car piloted by Douglas Stonehouse and Cameron Coombs in the number 15 rounds out row 4. Then Daniel Bergquist and Johnny Thunders round out your top 10 on your starting grid here for the Advanced Technical Solutions ECRL Next Gen Series. Rounding out the grid, it's Al Reed, Chad Lancaster, Alan Creighton and Douglas Stonehouse bringing up the rear of the field. So this is going to be very, very crucial. We've got the pace car out on the circuit at the moment, 175 laps here at Richmond Raceway. Rob, we love our NASCAR here on Racer Nexus, and more to the point, when you said, is anyone available? And I went, you know what, call the cavalry, Goldschmidt's coming.
Yeah, Alex to the rescue, our fearless duo, I guess, that usually covers ECRL here on Sundays. Both of them taking in some actual NASCAR racing this weekend, so you know what, they're off watching it in real life. Alex, we're here watching some drivers who would love to be doing it in real life as we're getting set for the green flag here. Pace car is in.
So we go to green here for 175 laps, and points leader and pole sitter William Kern leads the field as we head into turn 1 for the first time, but to the outside. That is a brave move by Billy Jordan as he's going high, wide and handsome to the outside of the wall in the number 14 Toyota. He takes the lead, but down to the inside goes points leader Kern, Gross Iverson, and then it's Dean Stonehouse rounding out your top 5. It's a short oval here, so these laps are going to fly by. Blink, folks, and you'll miss it.
Yeah, there we go. It's just 3/4 of a mile track here, Alex. As you mentioned, not a whole lot of room for mistakes or issues here with you being this close on track. You're going to lose a number of positions very quickly, but looks like things aren't quite settled up front. Billy Jordan trying to take away that spot from William Kern, but feeling a ton of pressure from Casey Gross in behind him right now. Yeah,
Billy Jordan level on points with Tony Iverson and Billy Jordan P2, Iverson P4 in the number 14. And here's the man from Sarasota just for a brief moment. Then we've got Tony Iverson, the man from Fernie, Nevada, in the number 13, currently P4 in the Chevy, diving to the inside, showing his nose to the number 77, Casey Gross, who's currently 13 in the 13th in the point standings. But you can just see with this short style oval, there is not a lot of room to breathe. You're on the throttle, you're lifting off, dab of brakes, back on the power. So fuel mileage and tyre wear is going to be crucial here, Rob, because obviously when we get to our respective stages, that's going to be when the drivers are really going to be able to take a big sigh of relief and go, okay, stage 1's over, stage 2's over, I can get a drink down my neck.
Absolutely. No doubt we're going to see a yellow at some point in time, Alex. I might just curse to hear now. These guys might go right to the stage without a yellow. But you know what? William Kern right now, he'd love to not see a yellow. He's opened up the 8/10 gap over Billy Jordan in second. We got battles all up and down this field, though, with the tight confines of Richmond. Really tough to run away from the rest of the field unless something happens. But Douglas Stonehouse, Cameron Combs, still in a battle here. Combs right up on the back of Adolfo Castillo. That's a name we've seen in a number of our Racer Nexus leagues across the weekly schedule here in NASCAR. So we know that Adolfo Castillo, a well-versed driver here this evening, already up 3 spots into 8th place.
Yeah, the number 97 Chevy, the man from San Juan in Texas. Of course, we've got the Battle of New York and New Jersey going on at the moment, as we just saw a couple of seconds ago. So these drivers just try to get into that groove, get into the swing of things, because in the opening 10 laps, you're still trying to work out your opponents. But here comes Billy Jordan with a big lick of speed to the inside across the stripe, and he's diving to the inside of. So it was Mason Gross trying to go through on Jordan. Jordan kept to the high side, kept the momentum around the corners, and that meant he was able to park in front of the 77 Chevy without too much trouble. So it is about metering and managing those gaps. We've gone on board on the rear roof cam of Billy Jordan, currently P2. The biggest mover at the moment, Al Reed, and the number 3, the man from Ireland, in the number 3 Chevy. He's made up 5 spots from the outside of the penultimate row of the grid, the man from Leitrim Island, doing a stellar job. And he is also the only driver, apart from William Kern, who leads the points, but he's not that far behind. When you think about it, he's got 1 win to his credit in this season so far. And looking at it from the other side, Caleb McKinney, Tony Iverson is also a race winner, as we could see a dive to the inside by Al Reed. That would have been on Randy Butler in the 47. And look, Al Reed is not afraid of putting it up the inside, potentially, of the Red Bull 47, just up ahead the Toyota Camry.
As we're on board here with Randy Butler having a look back at Al Reed there. It was Castillo right up the inside of Reed, making short work of that. It looks like Reed realized that maybe Castillo was coming with a head of steam, didn't really want to hold him up. See if these 4 cars to work together, as they're starting to fall back from Tony Iverson, Casey Gross, and Billy Jordan up ahead, which they're not going to want to have happen here. Alex, they're going to want to try and stay with that group up ahead.
Yeah, definitely. In terms of the point standings, reference the 4 teams. Quantum Motorsports are leading on 746. Elite Sim Racing P2, 668. 4 ahead of Extreme Motorsports, who ran out the top 3 in the standings, and Hyperdrive Esports, who also do have points leader William Kern on their roster. He was rounding out 4th place with a total score of 447 points so far after the opening 6 rounds. And this one brings us pretty much towards the halfway point, as, oh, this is going to be to the outside. And that was Castillo. Reed's going to make it 3 wide into the next corner for the briefest of moments. But Castillo keeping out of harm's way. Reed gets through, bit of a scrape by Coombs across by the wall as he's trying to get round the outside of the Toyota Camry, the 47 of Butler, who has just dropped a couple of spots. But, well, what can you say? Castillo and Reed, the men on the move, 5 places gained apiece.
Yeah, a couple drivers we've seen with wins here this season. Alex, I think both of them actually started at the back, did not qualify, so they're doing the old back to front challenge here, and so far working well for them, both up 5 spots into 6th and 7th place respectively. So we'll see if maybe they have anything to offer William Kern once we get to the stage break and the pack starts to group back up again. We'll see, maybe they can bring the fight to William Kern, but right now he's looking comfortable up front, 1.4 seconds ahead of Billy Jordan now, who still hasn't been able to pull away from Casey Gross or Tony Iverson.
William Kern just really getting into his stride now. He's a 2.5 up the road from Billy Jordan. Also, the number 31 Chevy has the fastest lap of the race at 21.548. And there he is, the man from Hyperdrive in the number 31. Loving that Caterpillar livery on the car. Black with a little smidge of yellow. Well, it's more than a smidge. It's probably half of the livery, but it really looks good on that Chevy. But he's really comfortable at the moment. You can see that car is well planted. He's able to put the hammer down when he needs to. But right, that was a bit of a moment there for the man from Fernley, Nevada, the number 13, Tony Iverson. Had a little bit of a moment, and the car ended up going a little bit left, further left than he would want to coming down the straightaway. But again, it's just about picking your moments. But because of that slight mistake from Iverson, It's one of the Stonehouses. It's Dean Stonehouse from Bethlehem, PA in the 88. And he's using the higher side to carry the rotation of the car through the corners. And that is helping him close in on Tony Iverson here, Rob.
Yeah, it's not too often you see the middle to top groove working at Richmond. With a short track, you usually want to keep it as tight to the bottom as you can, but maybe Stonehouse has found something here early on as you see him now working back down to the bottom. And it looks like Tony Iverson's got his bearings back under him here. He's starting to pull away from Stonehouse, but in behind Stonehouse, he's got that battle of Castillo, Combs, and Reed catching up to him very quickly. So he might have thought he might have been in a battle here with Iverson, potentially fourth place. Looks like he's going to have to defend his fifth place position here in a matter of laps.
Yeah, it is not going to be easy, but I just see that right. Billy Jordan, the first one to blink on lap 23 out of 175 for the Midland Struggle 130. Here for the Advanced Technical Solutions East Coast Racing League Next Gen Series. And, well, we're seeing maximum speeds of about well, William Kern just went through the speed trap at 154 miles an hour before he went through it again at 148.4 miles an hour. So not what we would quite see, you know, like say on the World Centre of Racing Daytona, you know, tri-oval with a banking, big banking as well, 31 degrees through the banked corners. But here with this short track, and look how close they're getting to the wall. They're really finding the groove here, Rob, going down that back stretch into 3 and 4. But still, Kern is dominating proceedings. He's 3.9 seconds, make that 4 seconds up the road, and we're only 25 laps in. We're about 16 laps away from the end of our first of 2 stages, one on lap 42, one on lap 84, and that'll give the opportunity for drivers to decide. But here comes a dive to the inside by the 97 of Castillo. Stonehouse trying to get the crisscross here on the man from San Juan in Texas, who's currently running P4, but then keep your eyes to the outside. Here comes Cameron Coombs, the man from New York, Addison, New York, trying to go through around the outside and loses a little bit of momentum. Cameron Coombs, then he went up the inside of him. Well, he was on the outside of him, and it could have been the fact that maybe Cameron Coombs might be just close. He's chancing it. Look how close he was to the wall coming out of turn 4 and across the stripe. This is where you have to be on this kind of circuit, millimetre perfect.
Yeah, a couple of drivers have already tried to move those walls out a little wider than they are here, Alex. And you know what? The track's going to win that battle every time, as you see Cameron Combs still riding that top side. And in behind him, looks like Dean Stonehouse gone back up to the top side, where we saw him having some success when he caught up to the back of Iverson after Iverson had that woe is me moment, had to collect everything up. So I think Stonehouse is best served to head up there. That's where he was putting in his quickest time. So we'll see if he can answer back here, as Al Reed's gotten around him now too as well. That's going to drop Stonehouse down into 7th place. That's going to move Reed up 6 positions to the good on the day into P6.
Yeah, so with the pit stop that Billy Jordan did on lap 25, and that now puts him a lap down. But of course, everyone else has yet to do their first potential service. But look at this, Iverson's being caught. Castillo now up to 3rd. He's just got through on Casey Gross. Gross to the outside, across the stripe. Battle for P3, wheel to wheel. And here comes Cameron Coombs with a big lick of speed. So it's a meritocracy at the top end of the order. Top 6 occupied by Chevy, wobbled by Castillo. The back end got loose, kicked out the tail to the right side. And it's going to be Gross to the low side, Coombs to the high side. But Castillo still keeps it piggy in the middle.
Yeah, hats off to Adolfo Castillo, showing us how it's done. Nice car control there, as you mentioned. Got a little wiggly wag in his tail, like my dog that's sitting here beside me at my desk here, Alex, but able to gather it back up and keep going. So hats off to Adolfo Castillo. This is our closest battle on track, is this quartet here battling it out for 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th place.
Yep, so we're just less than 10 laps away as Coombs to the low side of Castillo. And Castillo, oh, he just rumped the wall on the outside going down the back straightaway into out of turn 2. And that has meant that the man from Elite Sim Racing in the number 15 has just got through for 3rd spot, and he hits the wall. Right rear fender takes a big old clatter of Armco barrier. But meantime, lap 33 out of 175, and William Kern still expanding that lead. It's nearly 5.7 seconds. Make that nearly 6. He is on a mission, is the man from Hyperdrive Esports.
Yeah, William Kern showing us he knows the way around this track, Alex, dominating since the drop of the green flag. But as I said, it's going to be interesting to see once we get that stage break and we group everybody back up again, if Kern still is able to be the belle of the ball here, or if somebody else has a little something to answer back with him.
Yeah, very much the case there, Rob, because it will then mean that any advantage that he gains now, and this is what normally happens when we go to stages here in Next Gen Series Racing here on the iRacing server, folks. It's just a case that everyone groups back together, and then it's going to be a case of, well, where you finish after stage 1 and stage 2, that decides the grid for the respective next set of green flags. And then obviously we'll probably have maybe some green-white checkered attempts, as long as we don't have a caution. That's the first time I've said that this evening, but if it does happen, it's a fate of circumstance, not a commentator's curse.
Wow, we'll give you that one, Alex. We'll give you that one. But Tony Iverson into second place. He wasn't with us to start the season here in ECRL, joined after a couple races, and he's been fairly dominant since he's joined here, Alex. And I'm not surprised to see that he's at the sharp end of the field again here this evening. But look who's coming up quickly, and behind him, Cameron Combs, up 5 spots in the day. We saw him dispose of Castillo, dispose of Reed, Gross, Stonehouse. Next, he's going to set his sights on Tony Iverson.
Yeah, that's going to be the big thing. I mean, Tony Iverson has had a really, really good haul of points. I mean, he's currently on 178. William Kern's on 312. Al Reed, the man from Ireland, in the number 3, who's now up to 5th position. He's about 1.2 seconds behind Castillo. So the man from Ireland doing a really, really good job in the number 3. Still, none of the Toyotas, none of the Fords have been able to break into the top 6, but that could all change as we go deeper into this race. There's Johnny Thunders in the number 60 Ford Mustang Quantum Motorsports entry, currently running in the 9th spot. Up 1 as Aaron Creighton there, currently in P13 in the number 30 car, in the Oracle Red Bull Racing livery from this year. He's trying to go down to the inside of the 0-2, Chad Lancaster, as all. Now that is Kern. He's hitting back marker traffic. We're a couple of laps away from the first of our stages being completed, but the man from Hyperdrive Esports, despite that little brush with the wall, he's being very, very patient. That's what you need to be at a short oval, patient. You cannot chance it. If you see the gap and it's more than on, you will go for it. And Kern is trying to get a run out of the corner, but that is going to allow Tony Iverson to close that gap. It's gone down from about 6 seconds, and it's nearly halved so far. It's 3.6, as we say. And the Racing Tyrants, number 13, being chased down by the Elite Sim Racing, number 15, Cameron Coombs, as we are on to lap 42. After this, we'll see the first of the checkered flags for our stages here at this particular race. We will be heading to Darlington next time out, but there we go. First caution, first stage completed. And William Kern picks up the points as the race winner so far.
Yeah, hats off to all of our drivers there, Alex. And you know what? A little deep sigh of breath here for me that I didn't give the commentator curse, saying that there was going to be a yellow coming out before the stage break. They proved me wrong. They got there. And we're going to rack them up. Everybody pop into the pits, gets a splash of fuel, some fresh rubber. And we'll see here if Mr. Kern can stay ahead of Iverson, Combs, Castillo, Reed, and the rest of the group here when we go back green.
So, for everyone that's just joined us here on the Racer Nexus network here on YouTube, everyone filing down pit road to get some fuel and some fresh rubber on their wagons. William Kern, the man from Hyperdrive Esports, our points series leader, after the round at Atlanta just a couple of weeks ago. He has won stage 1 out of 3, so our next stage will be at lap 84 as the number 31 hits his marks in the pit road. And now it's time to get the service. Okay, right side tyres going on, it looks like, for pretty much all of the field. Splash of fuel, right rear, and now they're doing it. It's quite funny. It's like a Mexican, like a lowrider in the barrio, you know, with the air suspension. But that's the thing, folks, with these NASCARs, these next-gen cars, it is a case, as per the real-life thing, they jack up one side, then they jack up the other side. It just means they've got to be efficient, and when you think about it, it means that William Kern is going to be enjoying a fresh set of Goodyear Eagle tyres on that Chevy Camaro. So good to see that he is going to continue what's going to happen after we go green. Pace car back out on the circuit. Here are your point standings after Atlanta last time out 2 weeks ago. We've had Daytona, Auto Club, Watkins Glen, Phoenix, Kansas, Atlanta. It's Kern on 312, Reed on 270, Castillo 251, Coombs on 226, McKinney on 207, Jermaine Combs on 182, Daniel Bergquist, Billy Jordan tied on 179 apiece, one ahead of Tony Iverson, Joey Vergara, who's not here tonight, a further point adrift, and rounds out the top 10. Kurt Sponsler, Randy Butler, Casey Gross, Douglas Stonehouse, Chad Lancaster, Johnny Thunders, Dean Stonehouse, Aaron Creighton, Ace Wells and Derek Forrest round out the 20 that have scored points through this season so far. Ace Wells has only made 2 appearances thus far, both at Daytona and Auto Club. Derek joined us at Daytona. The drivers that were missing at Daytona for the opening round out of 15, Caleb McKinney, Tony Iverson, Chad Lancaster. McKinney and Iverson also not present at round 2, neither was Forrest. Joey Vergara did not join us at the Glen, neither at Phoenix, but we are getting everybody into the traditional 2x2 rolling start as pace car into pit road. We're about to get underway with stage 2 of the Midland Struggler 130 here for the Advanced Technical Solutions ECRL Next Gen Series. We're back under green, and Iverson trying to put the pedal to the metal, trying to go round the outside into turn 1 on points leader and race leader William Kern. Here comes Cameron Coombs. He's to the low side. This could put Tony Iverson as a bit of a disadvantage. Iverson round the outside here at 3, but he's losing out. But can he get the traction down coming out of the final corner? Into the tri-oval we go. Iverson now takes the lead, but it's next to nothing on the brakes. Kern is a little bit better. Iverson dives to the low side. Can Coombs keep it pinned to the high side through turn 2? He's going to give it a try, but then Iverson dives to the low side. Coombs is using that outside line, and for him at the moment, Rob, it seems to be working.
Yeah, we saw him last 10 laps or so before the stage break, really working that top side. That's where we saw Stonehouse go back up to the top side too as well. So looks like maybe Cameron Combs found something here this evening, Alex. But you know what? We're seeing Mr. William Kern starting to pull out a lap, pull out the lead again here on this lap. But Cameron Combs going to try and keep him honest. Tony Iverson in there right too as well, and the man from Ireland, Al Reed, up 8 spots into P4.
Yeah, biggest mover of the night, the man from Elite Sim Racing. He's going to try and do what he can. He's already had 1 win so far in the 6 rounds, and that was very much the case. And now he's looking to close that gap to William Kern, because next time out in a week's time, we head to Darlington for round 8 out of week 8 out of 15. A little bit further back, Daniel Bergquist in the Napa Racing Tools number 16 Chevrolet battling away. That is going to be with the number 24 Monster Energy car. And oh, that's Douglas Stonehouse, high side into the wall. He just about got away with it. A bit of contact, but it looks a bit worse than what it was. So he's going to have some right side damage. Johnny Thunders is looking to the inside of Bergquist now. And this is the run for P8. Look at this, 2x2. And looks like Casey Gross has ended up down in 11th spot. But Johnny Thunders in the 60 gets through on Bergquist for 8 spots. Gross to the inside of Douglas Stonehouse in the Monster Energy number 24. And looks like Casey Gross is having a bit of a ping problem at the moment. Maybe his connection's playing silly beggars with him at the minute. But Cameron Coombs trying to keep with William Kern. The gap is just under 3/4 of a second. Iverson is in P3, then it's Al Reed, Adolfo Castillo, then it's Dean Stonehouse in the 88, the highest of the manufacturers outside of Chevrolet, as we're on to lap 55 being completed shortly. Will Kern comes out of the final corner out of turn 4, on to lap 56 out of 175. again, even though Coombs is keeping him honest, keeping within that 3/4 of a second window in the number 15, I think Kern is playing this, he might be playing a bit of a fuel mileage game here, you never know.
Yeah, we still have that one more stage break coming up here, Alex, so maybe it's a little bit of testing here for Kern, because they're going to have to make a potential green flag stop after that second stage. It's going to be a run to the end of the lap 175, so could be working on a little bit of strategy here when he gets there, see what kind of fuel mileage he can save, so it'll have a better advantage at the end of the race here. But you know what? He showed us he's a class in the field so far this season. Been up around the sharp end of the field week in, week out. A lot of guys have come and gone, but William Kern's been the most consistent at the sharp end of the field, and he's proven it here again today so far in Richmond, but we still got a long way to go, not even halfway into this race.
Yeah, we're on lap 59 out of 175. So next stage when we'll get another enforced caution, folks, not one where something happens out on track and someone has a problem. That'll be at lap 82. So we are getting towards around about just over 22 laps to go as we hit lap 60 out of 175. Adolfo Castillo, the man from Quantum Motorsports from San Juan, Texas, closing in on the very, very fast Irishman. Oh, and yeah, that was definitely the back end getting a little bit loose. The right rear fender of the 97 of Castillo hits the barrier, but glances off it, so he's able to keep the hammer down. But that is not going to help him in terms of, obviously, the cars are built to within the next gen regulations, and they all have to be very, very much. It's more parity based in terms of overall performance, but you can. Oh, there's a little bit of smoke from possibly a little bit of trail braking from Al Reef from Leitrim Island in the number 3, and it might have been from the left front as he was trying to turn the car in. More to the point, it is still that game of strategy as we are just coming up to 20 laps away from our second of the 3 stages. Then from when we go green for the final time, it will be a run to 175 laps. There's Douglas Stonehouse, the man from Mays Landing, New Jersey. Then the man from Sarasota, Florida, Casey Gross, the number 77. Casey was running at the sharp end of the field before we ended up going for the first stage being completed. And that just goes to show that if you're a little bit further down the pit lane, you might have a little bit of a disadvantage getting out after the stages here, Rob.
Yeah, I'm having a look at Casey's time in the pits. It was fairly on par with everybody else, so I'm not sure what happened. Maybe he had a little bit of a whoopsie moment here when we went back green. Alex, we'll see if maybe he can take advantage of that next stage break, get himself up towards the sharp end, but it doesn't quite look like he has the pace that we saw in that first stage, as he's struggling to try and find a way around Douglas Stonehouse right now, the Extreme Motorsports driver, in 10th place.
Unfortunately, it's game over for Billy Jordan. Power went out for the number 14 on lap 51, so unfortunately he's become the first casualty of the Midland Struggler 130 here for round 7 of the Advanced Technical Solutions East Coast Race League Next Gen Series. And Cameron Coombs now starting to try and pull a gap over Tony Iverson in the number 13. So Cameron Coombs, great job by the number 15 Chevy driver. You can see the sparks flying as the bodywork scrapes against the wall as he's using that high side to his advantage. This could possibly be his meal ticket when we go for a very, very long stretch from lap 84 to lap 175. That's going to be 91 laps whereby anything can happen. And some people might say, well, the short oval must be a lot easier than, you know, like say Daytona or let's say Talladega. No, it's a completely different skill set you've got to have. I mean, people say, and this is the old adage, and I've never been one of these people to subscribe to this methodology here, Rob, is that, yeah, NASCAR, it's turning left all day. No, it's not. There is so much that these drivers are having to deal with. you know, they're having to react to how the car is reacting through the steering inputs, throttling, you know, using the throttle, using a little dab of brakes, but they're not using, it's more like lift and coast, and then use a little dab of brakes to just rotate the car through the corner and just help keep that left hand down.
Yeah, it's, you know what, you pretty much nailed it there, Alex. You're on a smaller track and everything just seems to happen that much faster. You would think, as you mentioned, the high-speed tracks like Daytona, Talladega, where it would be just that much more, but you know what, you have a lot more wide open spaces. Everybody's doing pretty much the same speed. You're all in around each other. It's just a different whole set of circumstances here where, you know, it's more managing your throttle here at Richmond, managing the brakes, managing their tires. As you mentioned, Combs really working that high side. He's going to be saving his tires a little bit, and if he's found a way to do that early on, when we get to that final stage where they're not going to have that stage brake to really rely on to pop into the pits, get fresh tires, and a little splash of fuel, he might have some better rubber at the end that could come into play here as the race drags out. We stay on board here with Tony Iverson up into third place. Falling back a little bit from Cameron Combs. Combs looking fairly steady here in second place. He's managed to move himself up towards the sharp end of the field, but been unable to get himself any further down the road here at this point in time. William Kern, continues to lead the way. He's opening back up that gap. Hasn't built up as much as what he had before the first stage break, but still comfortably about 2 seconds up the road from Cameron Combs.
Yeah, it looks like the track temperature is dropping by a couple of degrees. We are, I think we're at sunset, if I remember correctly, according to the server, Rob. So, you know, there's the temperatures. 79 degrees Fahrenheit air temp, 86 degrees Fahrenheit track temp, so 26 and 30 degrees centigrade respectively. Conditions are cloudy, so as the race goes on, as Dean Stonehouse has just got through on Randy Butler in the number 47 Red Bull Toyota Camry. Here's Mr. Thunders. He's just lost out to Daniel Bergquist, and here comes Casey Gross, who's now gone back up into the top 10. He's chasing down the number 60 Ford Mustang and also the number 16 Napa also parts Chevrolet Camaro. So again, great little three-way scrap here. Bit of a lock-up on the left front by Johnny Thunders. That is not exactly what you need coming out of turn 4. So Casey Gross is going to be to the inside here at turn 1. He's going to go use a little bit of side draft here through 1 into 2, keeps it to the low side. And they're still going to be on the hammer, down into turn 3. And Gross again. I think for Thunders that outside line is not working, but for Cameron Combs down up in P2, he seems to be the person that's being able to exploit that high line without it giving him too much trouble.
Oh, heavy hit for Thunders on the wall there. He already had that right side damage.
Oh.
That's not going to help his case at all there, Alex. And now we see that car really pushing into the corner. Johnny Thunders going to be hoping for a yellow before that stage break. Oh, and behind him, Douglas Stonehouse into the wall too as well, the Monster Energy car. So seeing some drivers here now, Alex. Looks like potentially they've burned off the right front of those cars, really getting a lot of understeer into the corners as they're coming out on the exit, not able to get that front end to bite. They're drifting off up into the wall.
Yeah, that's also going to hurt the front aero package on the car, because the minute you start denting fenders, that can actually parlay into the front subframe underneath the hood of the car, bending up slightly as well. So that's going to compromise it completely, because if you've got more of a bump or a scoop on the hood of the car, it's going to really affect your aerodynamics, and it's actually going to mean that you're going to lose a little bit of top end speed as a direct result. We are now 4 laps away from our next stage caution on lap 84 out of 175. And Bergquist, who started on the outside of row 4 on the 8th spot, now down a position, but trying to chase down the 47 Toyota Camry of Randy Butler in the 47. And oh, big hit across the wall. And that was Casey Gross in the number 77. That was a big hit. Both fenders on the right side clattering into the wall. You can see the livery a little bit scuffed up as a direct correlation to that whack on the wall. And That, like you said, the more damage you pick up in this race, the more it's going to compromise you, especially coming down to the latter stages of 175 laps for the Midland Struggler 130 here at Richmond Raceway.
Yeah, we're seeing our leader Kern now getting into the lap traffic again as he's moving underside. Chad Lancaster easily going to move up under him. Still sitting comfortably about 1.7, 1.8 seconds, but that little bit of traffic actually caused him a little bit of time here for Cameron Combs in behind. Combs was able to take a tenth or two out of them. Tony Iverson in third place, though, not ready to let Combs run away. These two have been fairly stagnant here, Alex, since the drop of the green flag. They did put a little bit of pressure on Kern, but Kern was able to open up that gap. But I got to say, Tony Iverson, that is a sharp-looking paint job on that machine, the Tyrant paint scheme. A little bit of a dinosaur action on the side there, a little T-Rex behind the number plate. It's a sharp-looking car.
Yes, indeed. We're on the 84th lap out of 175. We're just about to hit the end of stage 2. And William Kern has dominated proceedings. He's halfway through the lap, so he's on his way down the backstretch into turns 3 and 4. And on lap 84, we complete stage 2. And it's Hyperdrive Esports William Kern that has ruled the roost here at Richmond all night long so far. Pole position, fastest lap, and he's the winner of the opening stages. And now we go into what I like to, I'm going to use an NHL reference here. We now go into true overtime, because after this, it's the run to the checkered for the Midland Struggler 130, as it's week 7 out of 15 for the Advanced Technical Solutions East Coast Race League Next Gen Series live here on Racer Nexus. And for those that have just joined us, welcome in. Thank you for joining us, myself, Alex Goldschmidt, and Rob Campbell up here in the Racer Nexus Global Broadcast Centre as everyone dives down into pit road. But staying out, that is the 0-2. Chad Lancaster in the Ford Mustang has decided, I'm not going to pit yet. Now, bearing in mind, his first stop, Rob, was on lap 43, just after we had our first caution, as our race leader comes in, hits his marks in the pit box, and once again we see the jacks underneath the cars, then on the right side, then on the left side. There we go. Like you say, it's Tony Iverson's livery. It's got a bit of an NFL feel about it, with the way that Tyrants is just emblazoned on the rear quarters above the fenders and also on the hood of the car.
Yeah, it does. There you go, Racing Tyrants. You got a T-Rex for a hood ornament there, Alex. So they went all out with the theme, and it looks like Iverson was able to leapfrog Combs through pit strategy. They were able to get in and off pit road a little quicker than Cameron Combs. 14.75 time in the stall to 15.08 for Cameron Combs. That's all Tony Iverson needed to get ahead of him. So now we'll see if Iverson can offer something up to William Kern on this restart, or if he's going to have to spend most of his time defending Cameron Combs in behind.
Biggest loser in the pit stop stage, Adolfo Castillo. 18.6 seconds was his time in the pits. The man from Quantum Motorsports now finds himself behind Dean Stonehouse. And what's more, Randy Butler had a pretty quick pit stop. 15.15 seconds for the 47 Red Bull Toyota Camry. And that has put him as the highest placed Toyota, so no longer is there the top 6 Chevy meritocracy that we have seen for the majority of this race. So your running order, as we are under pace car conditions, ready to get the third and final stage, when we effectively go into overtime here at the Midland Struggler 130. Kern leads from Iverson, Coombs and Reed, row 2. Butler and Dean Stonehouse, row 3. Castillo and Bergqvist ran out row 4. Top 10 completed by Douglas Stonehouse and Casey Gross, followed by Thunders, Creighton and Lancaster. And unfortunately, Billy Jordan is having to watch by the sidelines as we run aboard on the roof cab of the pace car as it peels into pit road. We're set and ready for the third and final stage of the Midland Struggle 130 for ECRL. Week 7 out of 15. We go green. And look at the run that Coombs has got. But here comes Iverson like he did it the first time. We got under green after stage 1 was completed. He tried to put the pressure on Kern early. Now I think the man from Racing Tyrants is going to have to rethink the strategy box here and try to go to the low side. But the big thing is that William Kern has just been parking on the racing line every single time we hit lap number 90 out of 175. So 85 to go here at Richmond for week 7. And look at this. Look at how close the top 6 are. They're covered by 1.3 seconds with Randy Butler in the 47 bringing up the rear. Looks like Castillo's trying to make a move on Al Reed. And they are wheel to wheel at the moment for 4th place across the stripe. There you go. Castillo, he's got the low side. But look at the man from Ireland, Al Reed, trying to keep with him. He's going to get the hammer down a little bit earlier to try and get that traction, a little bit of a wobble from the back end of Castillo again. So I think Castillo, the man from San Juan, is running the back end of that car a little bit loose. It might be a bit more compliant to his driving style. But then Al Reed to the outside across the stripe as we go on to lap number 92 out of 175. These two, they are literally joined at the fender right now, but Castillo finally gets the move completed after 1.5 laps.
Yeah, nice door-to-door battle there between Castillo and Al Reed. A couple drivers both up 7 spots on the day, Alex. So, you know, they've kind of worked their way through the field together. And that's the first time we actually see them come door-to-door. So we'll see if they continue on. But that allowed Cameron Combs, Tony Iverson, and William Kern open up a little bit of a gap that I'm actually surprised to see Combs falling back a little bit off Iverson. He was working that top side before the stage break came out, but looks like maybe he needs a couple laps to really fire those tires back up and really get the top line working.
Yes, indeed. So it is going to be the case that, right, now we have to look at the race lead at the moment because Tony Iverson has just stolen by 12 thousandths of a second the fastest lap of the race. He is charging towards William Kern. Now, based on the fact it was a 21.536 that Iverson has done, but he's half a tenth, about 55,000 slower than William Kern. So Kern is keeping that consistency. We have 80 laps, we've got 80 laps to go until we hit the checkered. And at the moment, the race has been pretty much incident-free, barring some drivers just clipping or ending up accidentally clattering into the high side walls here at Richmond Raceway. So now it is just the case of you've got to watch the fuel mileage, you've got to watch the degradation on those tyres. And we've had 2 cautions, but those have been the enforced end of stage cautions. We've only had 2 lead changes, and that has been at stage 2 when Kern had Iverson to the outside, and on both occasions Iverson got ahead. Then William Kern quickly redressed the balance because he was on the low side. Here comes Randy Butler on Casey Gross as Chad Lancaster now decides. Now that's an interesting strategy for the 0-2. He qualified 13th, but he's decided I'm going to go in for a pit stop. Now this could be very, very interesting for the 0-2. Man from Quantum Motorsports in the Ford Mustang hits his mark, so this is his 3rd pit stop. So maybe he's decided I'm going to burn off a little bit of that fuel tank and just rim it to the top and see how far that gets me, because nobody else after we went green after stage 2, and that was on lap 85, lap 86 we went back to green. So the drivers now have been on track for 14 laps, and that is going to be crucial. So can Chad Lancaster do the 3000 IQ scrap on the rest of the field? Because he needs, and I mean this seriously folks, he needs the points, because he's currently on 158 at the moment towards the tail end. And if he can get some good points here tonight here at Richmond, this will help catapult him up the table.
Yeah, Chad Lancaster. Unfortunately for him, he's down 1 lap here. Alex, looks like Aaron Creighton now down a lap. So I'm wondering if maybe that was just a, as you mentioned, a strategy play here for Lancaster. Maybe he figured if he pops back in, maybe he's got a little bit of damage, can fix that damage. If we get a yellow flag come out, might get positioned to be the lucky dog to get that free pass around, get himself back on the lead lap. So we'll have to see how that works out for him. Unfortunately, a short track here like Richmond, coming into the pits, it's going to cost you at least 1 lap here under green conditions. So he's got his work cut out for him to get back in the lead lap.
Well, I don't think he's coming out because it's just shown that Chad Lancaster might have just called time. I'm waiting for any information through the Cup Series Talk channel, text channel on the Discord server for ECRL. So that is 2 out of the 14 out. We're on lap 105 or 104 out of 75. So I think whoever is the first one to pit for their 3rd pit stop, you know, we're going to see that these drivers, you know, they've run around about 40 plus laps per stint. So it's, you know, brim the gas tank, put a brand new 4 brand new sets, 4 new brand new stickered tyres onto the car, and then get those, get that upper layer of bitumen scrubbed off, get the tyres and brakes up to temp, and get that confidence back. Because as you can see, folks, the floodlights are on here at Richmond Raceway. The sun is setting, and we could have a really, really good dynamite-style grandstand finish towards the end of the Midland Struggler 130 here on Racer Nexus. And we're looking at the laps at the moment. Well, William Kern's last lap, 22.27. Iverson, 22.39. 22.38 for Cameron Coombs. And then a 22.28 for Adolfo Castillo, who has bridged a gap between himself and Al Reid, whose last lap was a 22.36. So a pretty... One of the things I like about the short ovals here, Rob, is they're kind of a bit of an equaliser when it comes to drivers deciding, am I going to go for broke? They will do when they get to the end of, like, say, week 13, week 14, week 15, when the ECRL Next Gen Series gets to the end of the competition, because then, you know, those points become so more valuable. But then it's a case of, do I risk it? Do I go for broke? Do I want to get one up on the opposition? And most drivers will too. But look at the gaggle here being led by Randy Butler. You've got Dean Stonehouse, Casey Gross. Gross goes to the low side, and Stonehouse is going to lose that again, so it drops down to 8th position. He's going to look to the low side of Gross going into T1, and the man from Extreme Motorsports is going to be wheel to wheel for the briefest of moments. Gross is going to try and get the hammer down, but being on that lower side, that gives you the traction advantage here at Richmond, and you're able to really get the power down early. Whereas if you're on the high side, you've got to wait to then go hammer down. And again, Gross is just making that work for him. It's very much like we've seen with Cameron Coombs earlier on in the race. But here goes Dean Stonehouse, all deep into that corner. Way too high for the 88 Extreme Motorsports car as they head onto the backstretch out of turn 2. It's a case of now working out the strategy. What is going to work for you? And that low side is now starting to come good for a lot of drivers, as we can see the switch around between Stonehouse. As Bergqvist lights up the rotors on the number 16 Napa Auto Parts Chevrolet and nearly ends up going into the back of somebody. He was very, very lucky. He did not cause a problem, but Stonehouse hits the barrier with the right rear fender. This is where we're now getting into the very, very deep, uncharted territory. We have got 62 laps remaining, including this one. Make that 61 as Kern has crossed the line to start at lap 114 out of 175. But Butler is doing a pretty solid job. He qualified P6. He was up to 5th earlier on, but then Al Reid and Adolfo Castillo managed to get through on him because they had really, really good pace from the onset of putting on those brand new stickered Goodyear Eagle tyres.
Yeah, he's got some pressure from Casey Gross. Looks like Casey Gross, all he needed was that last stage break. Alex, I think he had a little bit of damage on the right side. Looks like he was able to get that fixed up to that last stage break, and he's showing a little more pace. So what we saw in the first stage of the race here, as he's trying to put a ton of pressure on the back of Randy Butler. But you can start seeing here as the sun's setting down, you really see those front, oh, I say that Casey Gross just proved me wrong and rubbed up against the wall again. So maybe he likes that damage on the right side, but you really start seeing those front brake rotors glowing here as the sun starts to set, as the driver's really using the brakes, heading into the corners, trying to get those cars wound up here before they can get back into the hammer.
Yes, indeed. So, meantime, William Kern is leading by a country mile, so to speak. It's like he's wanting to get the race from here at Richmond out of the way and then get settled for Darlington. We head there in a week's time for 147 laps. Then we'll head to Charlotte, Dover, Daytona Road Course, Las Vegas, Talladega and Bristol, before we then have Homestead on the 14th of June, which is the 15th and final week of the ECRL Next Gen Series, the Advanced Technical Solutions East Coast Race League. And every single week we will be broadcasting all the action as it happens live here on Racer Nexus. So don't worry, folks, you will not miss a single second of the action here on what has been so far a pretty interesting race. Johnny Thunders now diving to the inside of the number 24 Toyota Camry of Douglas Stonehouse. Obviously Dean and Douglas being family members thereof, judging by the surname. But you can see that Johnny Thunders, the front end of that Mustang, looks a little bit beaten up, doesn't it? He's had a couple of brushes with the wall from time to time, and look at that right front fender. That has taken a bit of a pummeling.
Yeah, he's sporting the Crafts and Stuffs logo on his hood there. I think he might need a little bit of stuffing to knock that fender back out, and that front end looks like it's kind of angled the wrong way here tonight, Alex. I do insurance appraisals on car claims on auto damage for a living in my real life job, and you know what? Generally, when you see a front end like that, it's not driving too straight down the road. So I suspect Johnny Thunders has a bit of a challenge there behind the wheel this evening to try and keep that car straight.
Yeah, it's probably going to be the fact that rather than the center stripe on the steering wheel being left-hand down, it's going to be more central. So he's going to be doing a lot more left-hand down in that number 60 Mustang. Bearing in mind now, well, Adolfo Castillo and Reed is now starting to close, and now we see Daniel Bergquist in the number 16 Napa Auto Parts Chevrolet Camaro holding on to what is 9th spot, and the only 3 drivers that are still running out of the 14 starters. William Kern has led from lights out to the end of each stage so far, and he's got a gap over Tony Iverson of just over 2 seconds. Along with that, Randy Butler in the 47 Toyota is held station so far, so a good haul of points for the number 47 Red Bull Toyota Camry. And then Daniel Bergquist in the number 16 Chevy Camaro Napa Auto Parts vehicle, holding on to that 9th spot at the minute. But Kern is coming up to put us on to just 51 laps remaining. He's making his way through out of turn 4. He'll go across the stripe at the top of the tri-oval. Behind to the barriers goes the number 31. And that is now 50 laps to go. And what a consummate and dominant performance by the number 31. He has not put a foot wrong all night so far.
Yeah, he's had a couple drivers try and take a shot at him at a restart here, Alex. He's been able to fend them off and promptly open up that gap. So, you know what? William Kern has earned this one to this point in time. It's going to get a little dicey, though. He's not going to have that stage break to have to help with going through the traffic. So he's going to have to navigate through that here shortly. So you can see a pack just up ahead of him. Now, we saw it before. I think it was the last stage break, the second stage break, where he got into the back of the field and he was kind of waiting there, looking for an opportunity to try and get around him. He's not going to have that little bit of cushion this time. He's going to have to go, because he's not going to have that competition yellow coming out to save him.
No, we are seeing some pit stops. Casey Gross in the 77 Chevy was the first ones to blink, and now we're seeing a massive amount of the Butler. The 2 Stonehouses, Bergquist, Thunders, Gross, they're all in pit road. So this could be the fact that these drivers, this might be their last pit stop, as Johnny Thunders, or Casey Gross now out, the man from Sarasota, Florida, in the 77 Chevy. Al Reed currently sitting in P5. Castillo has stayed out, so has Coombs, so has Iverson. So it's now about when you think, okay, if they can reach, bearing in mind, every single stage that we've had has been, well, we had 42 laps for the first before everyone took the pit stop under yellow. And Al Reed, 15.02 seconds as Johnny Thunders has just got the black flag from race control, so that is not going to be good news for the number 60, so that's going to be a trip down pit lane, I would imagine. So that's not going to help him one iota. Cameron Coombs still running in P3, having started on the 8th spot on the outside of row 4 when we went green. 130 laps to go. On to lap 131. And as I said, Lincoln, you'll miss it with regards to these laps flying on by, folks, because it is not an easy task. And I know for a fact that when we speak to our drivers in the post-race interview show here on Racer Nexus, there are going to be some very, very thirsty drivers, and I'm sure that a cool, cold alcoholic beverage of some kind on a Sunday afternoon will definitely quench their thirst after a long run behind the wheel.
Absolutely. They might have some beside them as they go, Alex. A little cup holder on the side of your rig. You get a little splash. Unfortunately, in Richmond, you don't have a very long straight to grab that. You can either one long straw coming up into your cockpit as you're driving around. But we still yet to see pit stops here under green from our top three. Adolfo Castillo now in to complete his pit stop. So we'll see here if Combs, Iverson, and Kern respond in kind.
Also, the biggest telling point here, Rob, will be the fact of how long the pit stops are going to be, because we've seen anywhere between 15 to 18 seconds for a pit stop. So Castillo is going to take a brand new set of Goodyear Eagle sticker tyres. So the right side goes up.
Right side, yeah.
Right side only. So Castillo has found that the left side is not getting scrubbed away like the right. So he's deciding, you know what, the right side is where I need the grip. Creighton now pits for his third stop. Kern, Iverson and Coombs still yet to pit. The top three covered by just under 4 seconds. Castillo returns to 5th position behind Al Reed, who pitted on lap 127. So, and Castillo managed to save about 5 seconds by not going for a full set of tyres. Iverson in from P2. And from Racing Tyrants with the T-Rex on all panels that you can possibly find the surface coverage for. As in the look, there's even a little one on each, just by the the back of the rear fenders on both sides. There's a T-Rex on each side.
Oh, he missed his stall.
Oh dear, that is going to cost him time. That could be P2 not going his way. Now, is he going to stick with right side tyres like we saw with Castillo? Yes, he does. Lights up the rear tyres, drops 11s down with a burnout in pit road. And that is going to put him behind Al Reed. And here comes Castillo with a lick of speed. And they both get through. So that has cost Iverson second. Drops him down to 5th spot after his pit stop on lap 132. Oh dear, that's, well, 135. That's cost Iverson big time, but now it's about how you can manage things. And in the meantime, Kern is still out, 3.7 seconds ahead of Coombs. And there is Gross, the number 77, trying to put himself back up a lap as we are approaching the start of lap 140. Kern to the low side, Gross to the high side, 2 laps off of the leader. Oh, and Gross got the run coming out of the final corner. And Kern doesn't need to fight this. His battle is not with the man behind. As Reed now finding himself battling away. And oh, what's happened to Al Reed? He was P3. He's now dropped to 5th spot. That's a bit of a disaster for the Irishman. Maybe he's had a bit of a trouble because his last lap was a 21.988. Let's have a look here. So Castillo. Oh. Now, is there going to be a little bit of a slight touch between the pair? Well, Castillo gets the run, goes to the inside, Reed on the brakes, rotor's glowing red, and to the outside goes Iverson. And Iverson's going to carry that speed, gets the hammer down, puts the pedal to the metal, straight away, Al Reid powerless to do anything about it. A slight misstep from the Irish.
Yeah, a little bit of a bump and run there from Adolfo Castillo. It's all fair in NASCAR. You see that, very common. A little bump on the right rear corner, get the car in front of you unsettled a little bit. They got to move up the track and sneak up on the inside. But I don't think Al Reid's probably going to see it that way. Probably not all that happy about it. But you know what? He's still got we got about 30-something laps here left, Alex, for him to try and recoup that position. But still waiting on pit stops for our top two. William Kern, I think we were seeing him lift and coast a little bit when Casey Gross was just up behind him. So really trying to stretch out this fuel run here for our leader, William Kern.
Yeah, I think we were right. Here comes Kern in on lap 143. That's a really, really good stint. That is 60, that's around 60 laps. Because it was lap 85 he came in. So William Kern really has helped himself here. But now the big thing is, how deep into the bottom of the ninth can Cameron Coombs go in the number 15? Because he's now in the lead of the race, a man from Elite Sim Racing. And Kern, if he does only right side tyres, it could be a pretty quick pit stop. But no, he might decide, I want all my weapons sharp. 14.9 seconds. He's gone for a full set of Goodyear Eagle sticker tyres. So he wants all four wheels to be absolutely ship-shape in Bristol fashion and ready to go for the charge for the race lead. He rejoins in fourth position. So keep your eyes as we've got 30 to go here for the Midland Struggle 130 at Richmond Raceway for week 7 out of 15 for the Advanced Technical Solutions East Coast Race League Next Gen Series here on Racer Nexus. And as the night time comes in here in Virginia, William Kern is definitely one of those drivers you never bet against, because this man, when he gets up to his stride, I think Castillo, Reid, Iverson, Coombs, they've all got to watch their six right about now, because this man will be coming after them at a big rate of speed.
Yeah, we're really going to see if that strategy played out here for Kern. He was obviously slow the last few laps, trying to save that little bit of extra fuel here, Alex. But you know what? It's cost him some positions down into 5th place. Now he's pit quite a bit later than Al Reid, who pit on lap 127. Kern pit on lap 143. So he's going to have the tire advantage over Al Reid here as he's catching him very quickly. I think he'll make short work of him, but it'll be interesting once he gets up to Adolfo Castillo and Tony Iverson. Only about 5 laps or so difference between those drivers on their life of the tire. So we know Kern had the outright pace all race, but is he going to have enough to catch those drivers and make his way around them with 27 laps to go?
I think he will do, because Cameron Coombs has just parked it in the pits with 27 laps remaining. So Cameron Coombs, the man from Madison, New York, in the number 15, rumbles down pit road in the Camaro. But looking at the lap times, okay, the last 2 lap times from William Kern, a 21.6 and a 21.7, respectively. Castillo, last lap, 22.3. Iverson, 22.1. So this is now where we will see, as Iverson goes for is now the new race leader. Castillo, P2. Kern is ahead of Reid, and he gaps him after taking 8/10 out of him on the same lap. Coombs now rejoins, and that's going to be in 5th position, but he's going to have Casey Gross to the outside. That's going to be 6 spots where the number 15 is going to rejoin the race. 25 to go here at Richmond Raceway for the Midland Struggle 130. And the man, once again, who has led pretty much most of the race itself, is gunning for what will be his 4th win of the series here in week 7 out of 15. And look how fast he's catching everybody. Oh, and he's hit the wall. That's the biggest hit. He's had 142 laps, and with 24 to go, he was right behind Bergquist. Got a big run of slipstream, and it just meant that the back end was that little bit loose. And the man from Dansville, New York, ends up hitting the right rear fender into the high side wall. That's the first mistake we've seen from William Kern, but he's not letting that let him shy away from being a speedy individual. And here he goes to the inside. Castillo, absolutely powerless as Will Kern, now gets on the hammer, and to the inside he goes. Castillo is behind him. Castillo loses out P2. And now let's see how quickly William Kern, the man from Dansville, New York, catches up to race leader from Racing Tyrants, the number 13 of Tony Iverson, the Nevada native, having to battle his way through past Randy Butler in the number 47. He's gone very, very high to the wall and has managed to carry the speed through. But that gap is going to be closing. What Reed has got to do now is use Kern has got to use now is the speed, and he can see Iverson. He's got his target set on the number 13, and now with 21 laps to go, it's go time for the number 31.
Yeah, let's take a look there. The last lap between William Kern and Tony Iverson. Kern 2/10 quicker, so he's got the pace, Alex, but can he navigate through the lap traffic? Ooh, the 47, Randy Butler, got a little squirrely there. I think he only saw Kern at the last second on the inside. Thought about turning down left into the corner, had to bail out not to get involved there with Kern, but we see the Red Bull machine that is, that's Adam Creighton, I believe, up on the top side in the 30. He's going to stay high and let Kern work the bottom side, but he's not going to give him a ton of room, but Kern had enough room to get through there. Now he's got his sights set, as you mentioned, on Iverson up ahead. Clear track. We'll see how quickly he can reel him in.
Gap has now been absolutely decimated. It's the number 13 versus the number 31. It's Iverson versus Kern. Can Iverson get another win to his credit? And bearing in mind, Iverson has already had one win so far this season on 178 points, rounding out 9th in the points tally so far, as next week at Darlington will be at the halfway point of the series. But look at this. Kern is closing that gap. He's going to dive to the inside of that's Dean Stonehouse, and here it is. It's the mano-a-mano one-on-one battle. Iverson, he's got 17 laps to go. Can he defend and keep that back end of that number 13 Racing Tyrants Chevy Camaro wider than an 18-wheeler articulated lorry? But Kern is sticking his nose up the inside here at T1. He's waiting for that time, and if Iverson goes a little bit wider, look, he's bump drafting. He's nearly bump drafting in his Kern. But through into turn 3 and 4, Iverson just waiting. Now he's going to bury the hammer. Kern is going to get the slipstream, and Kern very high to the wall as they cross the stripe. 15 to go. Lap 161 out of 175 underway as we're under nightfall here in Virginia. And this is so close. Kern has just got to wait because Iverson is coming up to back marker traffic once again just up ahead. It's going to be quick these last 14 laps, folks. Blink, miss it, and, well, a great battle right up to the last part of this 7th week out of 15 for the Advanced Technical Solutions East Coast Race League Next Gen Series here on Racer Nexus. Ladies and gentlemen that have just joined us, you're in the company of myself, Alex Goldschmidt, and Rob Campbell up here in the Racer Nexus Global Broadcast Centre. The Racing Tyrants number 13 trying to hold on ahead of the points leader, the series leader, William Kern, who's looking for win number 4 out of 7 so far this series. And this is getting so close as it glanced the wall. The dust was kicked up by the back marker just up ahead. That is going to be Casey Gross in the 77. And look at the rotors on both leading cars glowing red heading into turn 2. They're having to keep a little bit of a watching brief as they dive to the inside through at 3, and Kern was later on the brakes than Iverson. Can he get the run out of turn 4? 11 to go. This is going to be close. Iverson nearly opened the door there for Kern from Hyperdrive Esports, the number 31. Now out of 2. And look how close Iverson is, just really having to be millimetre perfect as we're going to head to 10 laps to go. So 7.5 miles of racing here at Richmond Raceway. The Midland Struggler, 1:30. This, Rob, is going to be a grandstand finale, but it's about the case. Can Iverson keep the blockers on Kern right up until the checkered flag? But here goes Kern to the low side into turn 1. It's wheel to wheel, it's contact. Kern into the barriers. Oh no, caution out. First major caution of the night, and it's the points leader, William Kern, that tried for the inside move. and Kern is going to have to bring it down pit lane. Lap 167 of 175. We had 9 to go, and the points leader is going to be in pit road after getting the meatball flag.
Oh man, I saw that coming. I saw Kern dive to the bottom side, Alex. I was hoping he wasn't going to drift up a little bit there. There was only millimeters between them, and you know what? We were setting up for a heck of a finish. You can see William Kern was just kind of measuring up in behind Iverson. He was kind of getting a feel for where he was going, top side, bottom side, but we'll see. I can't remember if they get a quick repair in this series or not. Hopefully they do. We can get William Kern back out there on track and see maybe if he can find a way to challenge at the end here. But you know what a battle it was shaping up to be. Let's take a quick look here at what happened there and see if we can dissect.
Yeah, so it was the run coming out of turn 2, Kern to the inside, Iverson tries to defend, and there's a tag on the right rear. Yeah, so I think what Iverson was trying to attempt there, Rob, was to try and keep behind William Kern. But I think he just, it looks like it's possibly a racing incident. I mean, Kern had the move, I think pretty much done. And there you see Iverson, bang, there's the contact. And Iverson has come into the pits, so I think he's picked up some damage on the left front. But that's a hard hit for Will Kern, right into the barriers, and the front end an absolute mess. Smoke billowing from the back of the car as well. But that could have been a hell of a lot worse. So we're going to look on board from William Kern into turn 3. There's the touch, there's the hit, and, well, never like to see it, Rob. That's all I can say.
Yeah, absolutely. But it looks like he was able to get in and out, and looks like he's going to be starting in around 3rd or 4th place if timing and scoring is correct here, Alex. So we might have a little battle at the end. Iverson going to start in behind Kern in 4th place. As you mentioned, he came in and get some damage repaired too as well. But you know what? Cameron Combs going to start out front with Al Reed. We've seen Combs, show some pace here tonight. Could this be what he needs to take the win, snatch it away from the likes of Kern and Iverson here starting on pole for this restart?
Yeah, and that could be very, very interesting indeed, because Cameron Combs, despite the fact of being on 226 points, 4th in the points tally, coming into this 7th week out of 15, he's had 5 top 5s, 6 top 10s. He's also scored 3 bonus points over the course of this. So, you know what? I think it might be time that we have a new race winner in the series, and that will bring our tally to 4. So that would be Kern with 3, Reed with 1, McKinney with 1, Iverson with 1. Right, here we go. 6 laps to go, and we are green back underway for Midland Struggle at 1:30. And Coombs has just got an absolute hole shot of a start. And now Iverson, Reed, and Castillo, they are battling over what is the runner-up step on the rostrum. There we see in the background, I just saw Will Kern in the 31. He's about 2.5 seconds adrift. But with the pace that he can show, he's going to go right round the outside of Casey Gross straight away. Iverson is trying to close in on Coombs, and the gap is about 0.6 of a second. Now it's coming down though, and now Kern is going to try and do his level best. He's about 0.8 of a second behind Al Reed, the Irishman, as Kern is now going to have to go a little bit go for broke here, and that is to get past the likes of those in front, which includes Thunders, includes Stonehouse, and includes Bergquist. Dives to the inside, 3 to go. That is 2.25 miles. Gross goes into pit lane. Kern disposes of Bergquist. Now he's going to try and get past Thunders. And it's side by side for the race lead. Iverson versus Coombs. And Iverson now leads the race with 2 to go. Caution out. 4th caution of the night. 2nd during green flag racing. And that means Johnny Thunders has just... Oh, and there's been drama with the 24 Monster Energy car. That's Douglas Stonehouse. Oh dear, and look at that left front. That left front wheel is not how it should be. That is damaged steering, upright. And the man from Lure VA out is now going to have to bring it down to pit lane. But that left front tyre is wanting to turn left the whole time. So, that effectively means that we are now under our first green and white checkered attempt, because we've now extended from 175 to 177 laps. So if we don't have a caution by the time we hit turn 3, it will be black and white after lap 176. So it's the first attempt of a true. But let's have a look. So Casey Gross has.
I think he just called it quits. Yeah.
Didn't it? Oh, he did. So lap 171, Casey Gross, man from Sarasota, Florida, has called time. So this is the moment. So, oh, it's Stonehouse that loses it. Oh, and Johnny Thunders has nowhere to go. Stonehouse, the back end just had a big wobble left to right. He lost the car. It went spiraling towards the outside wall. And here's the onboard with Thunders. There's the first move, second move, bang, straight in.
Yeah, not much Thunders could do there, unfortunately, Alex. Track just closed up, nowhere to go, but you know what? This is setting up for a battle here at the end. William Kern going to be restarting in 4th place with Al Reed to his inside. We got Combs and Iverson starting on pole, so green-white checkered could be exciting here tonight at Richmond.
Yeah, so whilst we have the caution, our 4th caution of the night, obviously 2 instigated by the the 2 stages on laps 42 and 84 completed, and up until that point where we saw the drama between Tony Iverson and William Kern, the first of our 2 green flag cautions that have transpired, and then obviously with Douglas Stonehouse, who's I think called it time as well, just over 65 seconds, and I think he's just decided, you know what, I'll be happy with where I finish at the moment. But Dean Stonehouse stays out, currently P7. But yeah, like you say, Stonehouse now comes into the pit lane. But we are still extending the distance. Obviously, there's got to be a certain time. We're still under full course caution, under pace car conditions. For our 4th caution for the Midland Struggler 130, week 7 out of 15 for the Advanced Technical Solutions East Coast Race League Next Gen Series. And now we've had 5 lead changes, 4 cautions for 16 total laps. Lights out on the pace car for what could possibly the first time we get a black and white checkered. This will be our first green-white checkered attempt. And if we get a caution before turn 3 on the last lap of the race, it will go to another caution again. But it is Coombs, Iverson and Coombs on the front row. We go to green for 3 laps, make that 2 as Iverson gets the jump on the field. The man from Fernie, Nevada, looking for his 2nd win of the series, as William Kern looking for his 4th, Coombs looking for his 1st. Al Reed has already had a race win earlier on this series, but look at Kern, the man from Dansville, New York, trying to close in, and the man from Leitrim in Ireland, the number 3, and it's last lap. Here we go. It's going to be a short 3/4 mile lap, but Tony Iverson has got enough daylight at the end of the tunnel. The man from Fernie, Nevada, down the backstretch into 3 and 4, and for the Midland Struggler 130, it's checkered flag. It's the number 30. Tony Iverson wins here in Richmond.
Great job by all of our drivers there, bringing it home clean, the green-white checker. Tony Iverson got the jump on the restart, Alex, and did exactly what he needed to do, kept Cameron Combs in behind him, and unfortunately for William Kern, just couldn't quite find a way around Al Reed to get up in there and give Iverson a little boost back. You know, though, how you do. You don't have flashers on these cars, so you can't give him the old headlight flash. You give him a little bump on the bumper, say nice race.
Yeah, so your unofficial results for week 7 out of 15 for the Advanced Technical Solutions East Coast Race League Next Gen Series from the Midland Struggler 130. Your provisional results. Tony Iverson from Racing Tyrants in the number 13 Chevy takes the win after a multitude of laps. 4 cautions in total, 2 under green flag, and after 180 laps, he takes the win. Cameron Coombs from Elite Sim Racing and pole sitter, point series leader, and the man that led the race for the majority until our first bit of drama involving Kern and Iverson, bringing out the first main caution of the night, rounds out your P3. Al Reed, Adolfo Castillo, Randy Butler, Dean Stonehouse, Daniel Bergquist, and Johnny Thunders round out the top 9. Aaron Creighton rounds out the top 10 as Iverson puts a show on for the fans on the start-finish straight, lighting up the rear tyres, the Goodyear Eagles. Let's see if the man from Nevada decides he might do a few donuts on the grass. Let's see if Tony's going to give it a try. Come on, Tony, don't disappoint the fans. But that is your winner of week 7 here for the Midland Struggler 130. What a race, Rob. A lot of close pack action over the course of 180 laps. The first 2 stages pretty clean, but then we saw as we got into the bottom of the 9th, heading into the final 5 laps, it was going to be a mano-a-mano battle, and this man, despite the incident with William Kern, came out on top and takes his 2nd win of the series.
Yeah, well, it'll be interesting to see if the stewards review that one later on. I believe William Kern took responsibility of it during the race, and that's why he had that black flag where he would receive the end-of-line penalty. But you know what, it's we kind of looked at it, we thought maybe it was just a racing deal, but you know, hats off to William Kerr if he did take responsibility for that, you know, saying, you know, maybe that was on me, but we'll see. They're going to regroup. They'll head back to the track next week, and they're going to fight it all over again.
Yeah, next week, 7 days time, we head to Darlington for week 8 out of 15. But now it's time to turn our attention to the post-race interview show here on Racer Nexus for the Midland Struggler 130. Let's bring in the man that was our pole sitter, that is our points leader still after week 7, but he ends up on the final step of the rostrum. Let's bring in the number 31, William Kern. Good evening. Listen, I have to say you did a stellar job over those first 2 stages, but you and Tony Iverson were at each other's throats as we came down towards the checkered. Nevertheless, it's still a good haul of points here at Richmond for week 7.
Yeah, I'll take a 3rd place podium. I was joking around with my teammate, my brother, and everything, saying that you know, I won a stage, which I haven't done yet this season, so I was probably going to lose the race. So there you go.
Yeah, back-to-back stage wins, but we want to hear it from your perspective. Obviously, the incident involving you and Tony, with about 6 laps to go. Just tell us from your viewpoint, because you dived to the low side, he'd left the door open, and then that small bit of contact between his left front and your right rear fender put you into the wall on the high side. What happened from your perspective? Because we saw you had the room.
I took it high in 1 and 2, and dove deep, kind of a diamond pattern, if you will, and got the run off from turn 2. Like you said, I dove low, and I just watched the replay back. I overdrove the corner. He was kind of tightening me up down there as far as staying down like he was supposed to, and I overdrove it and came right up into him. So it is what it is, man. It's race, and I'm glad I didn't ruin his race. I mean, I didn't really ruin mine either. Still got a podium out of it. So,
well, there's always behind every cloud there is always a silver lining, William, but still, nevertheless, a P3 puts you still in the series lead. Heading into Darlington in 7 days' time. Before we let you go, anyone you'd like to give a shout out to in particular?
Yeah, appreciate you up in the booth, man. Broadcasting's never an easy thing, and you guys got the eye in the sky, so you get the best view in the house. But like always, like I said, thank you, and thank everybody that puts on the league. I have a lot of fun with these guys. Good racing, man. Richmond, this thing was loose as crap tonight, and I was expecting like non-stop cautions, but everybody did a phenomenal job tonight, minus myself there at the end. But but as always, man, appreciate racing with everyone, and look forward to Darlington.
Well, William, thanks so much for your time, buddy, and we'll see you in 7 days' time for week 8.
Yes, sir.
Okay, big thanks to William Kern there, and I think we now have our 2nd place finisher, started from the outside of row number 4. Good evening, Cameron Coombs. Welcome to the rostrum, my friend. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, I mean, I have to say, Cameron, that high side here at Richmond was working pretty well for you tonight, wasn't it?
Yeah, I don't know how I got it to work, but it really only worked during the first stage. I could get it, but after, or I tried it again in the second stage, and just it wasn't working as good as it was during the first stage.
Mm-hmm. But still, there is one step on the rostrum that has eluded you so far after 7 weeks. That's victory lane, of course. But you know what? You still kept Tony Iverson very, very honest in the latter stages when we had our first green-white checkered attempt. But you know, it just goes to show there's still a lot of skin in the game here for the remaining 8 weeks as we head to Darlington in 7 days' time. But you know, how happy are you with the performance of gaining 6 spots? We did see some dramas for people like Casey, Douglas, and a few others that weren't able to make it to the rostrum. You must be pretty happy with that performance here at Richmond tonight.
Oh yeah, definitely. Richmond's not one of my good tracks, but we definitely, I think we could have got the win if Tony would have stayed out there with that first green white checker, because I had fresher tires than him. I was kind of hoping him and the 97 were going to stay out so I could kind of get a jump on them. But yeah, I definitely think it was a solid performance here.
Well, Cameron, congratulations on hitting second position here tonight at the Midland Struggler 130 for ECRL Next Gen. Before we let you go, buddy, anyone you'd like to give a shout out to and say thanks to for tonight?
No, I just got to thank Midland Struggler for sponsoring the race. All the sponsors for the league, ATS, Combs Custom Paint, Crafts and Stuff. Everybody that's making this go around. I got to thank you guys for devoting some time on your Sundays to broadcast. Thank all the guys that come here and race. Without them, this wouldn't even be possible. So definitely a huge shout out to them guys.
Brilliant. Cameron, thanks for your time, buddy, as always. And we look forward to seeing you at Darlington next week for week 8 out of 15. Well done on your second place finish tonight.
Definitely. Thank you guys.
Big thank you there to Cameron Coombs. But, well, when you get lemons, you make lemonade. Well, this man did it tonight. He came bringing the heat. Winner of week 7 for the Midland Struggler 130. Let's welcome in your week 7 winner, Tony Iverson. Tony, can you hear us?
Got you guys loud and clear.
Well, let's put it this way. 4th appearance on the series out of 7 weeks, and you pick up your second win. Despite that drama with William, with about 5 to 6 laps to go, I mean, you were trying to put that car as wide as humanly possible. But it just goes to show that when you're both fighting for those inches and those millimeters, it sometimes just takes unstoppable force versus immovable objects. And, you know, Will was quite gracious in the post-race interview, just saying, look, I overdrove it a little bit. And we could see that you were trying to turn in left to slot in behind him once he'd got through. But it was just an unfortunate incident, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I was definitely trying to pinch him down. I knew he had the faster car and the fresher tires, you know, so that, you know, I took my chance on the undercut, trying to pit before everybody to, you know, maybe get past him, because I knew I didn't have him on speed today. So I, you know, tried to do something different. You know, if I would have just kept doing what he was doing, he was just going to keep gaining a second or two every 10 or so laps. So, yeah, I took a swing at it, and he caught me a little earlier than I had anticipated because I slid through my box. But he, you know, he gets by. Like he comes out of turn 2, he has the run, and I'm thinking, all right, the only thing I can do here is try to pinch him down a little bit, and, you know, we'll just see what happens. But he's got me. And, yeah, then he slid it into the corner and kind of came across my nose when I was going for a crossover, but I didn't think that what he had done was because he overdrove the corner. I thought he just had me on raw speed. So when he came and slid up into me, you know, it was just an unfortunate circumstance, because like I said, he had the speed today. Keep doing that. Yeah, it was super fun. I learned a lot about this track on the new package in that race, and but yeah, he had the superior speed today, but you know, NASCAR gonna NASCAR.
Yeah, definitely. I completely agree there, Tony. But still, nevertheless, winner chicken dinner for your good self in the number 13 Racing Tyrants Chevy Camaro. Before we let you go, buddy, anyone you'd like to thank in particular for tonight?
Huge shout out to William. I've had such a blast racing him week in and week out. It's such good competition, and he's got a great attitude about racing in general, and all of our interactions have been pleasant, even though the racing on track has been really intense. So really thank him for that. And then my team, the Racing Tyrants, will be seeing my teammate racing with us next week, Buddy Solly. Finally, he'll be making his debut. So we'll be 2 Racing Tyrant Chevrolets out there on the track. And then you guys, Alex, Rob, you guys do a great job. I love watching these broadcasts back, and really appreciate what ECRL has done here, and then Advanced Technical Solutions for sponsoring the league, and then all the different race sponsors and the trophies provided, and just and then I mean, you look at the race itself, speaks a lot about the league that we only had a couple cautions. Just overall really thankful to be involved, and already can't wait till next week.
Well, Tony, congratulations on hitting victory lane and doing some burnouts along the wall for the fans here at the Midland Struggler 130. Your winner of week 7, Tony Iverson. We'll see you next week in 7 days' time for week 8 at Darlington. Tony, congratulations on the W tonight.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Well, a big thank you there to our top 3, William Kern, Cameron Coombs, and winner chicken dinner. It goes the way of the number 13 Racing Tyrants Chevy of Tony Iverson. Rob, all I can say is, despite the field not being the biggest when it comes to Next Gen Series, it was a very, very good race. We saw some great 3-4 pack battles for position. But the biggest thing was the drama between Iverson and Kern. But shout out to William Kern for saying, look, it's my fault, I overdrove it. And that is what a true sportsman does. If they make a mistake, they fess up.
Absolutely. As we saw, William Kern was basically the belle of the ball up until that point. It looked like he might have had the pace, as Iverson kind of alluded to, that he probably wasn't going to be able to hold Kern off. It was more or less inevitable that he was going to get by. But you know what? This week was a good build-up for next week, Alex. They're going to a track that's a little bigger, but just as tough, if not tougher, Darlington. It's got a couple nicknames, the Lady in Black or the Track Too Tough to Tame. Really tough on tire wear. So, you know what? Richmond was probably a good, pedestal for these drivers to really hone their racecraft for next week, as they're going to have real tight confines there at Darlington. It may not be as clean a race as we saw here tonight. Darlington usually turns into a caution-filled event, really tough track to drive, but our drivers are going to try and tame it next week here on Racer Nexus.
Well, folks, that concludes our broadcast here on the Racer Nexus Network. Don't forget, if you are watching along, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. We're fast approaching 800 subscribers. It might be a little bit of a click for you guys and girls out there watching along in YouTube land, but it means so much to us. It helps us to promote the sport that we love, which is the world of sim racing. Well, that is it for the Advanced Technical Solutions East Coast Race League Next Gen Series here from the Midland Struggler 130 at Richmond Raceway. We hit the halfway point of the series. Next time out, as we head to the track Too Tough to Tame, we head to Darlington for week 8. Can William Kern strike back and get another victory, or can triumphant Tony Iverson make a return to victory lane? Maybe even Cameron Coombs could get his first win of the series, but you never know. You're going to have to join us in just 7 days' time on April the 19th, when we hit the halfway point of the ECRL Next Gen Series. Up here in the Racer Nexus broadcast booth, it's been Alex Goldschmidt, joined alongside by Rob Campbell. Thank you so much for everyone that's tuned in and watched along with us. A big thank you to our friends at trackcams22.com. Trackcams for connoisseurs. If you do also want to get a cheeky little discount from our good friends at the Apex Sim Racing Shop, head to the referral link in the link in description down below and use the coupon code on checkout, Racer Nexus, whether it's the latest and greatest from brands such as SimuCube with their Evo 2 SimuCube direct drive to the active pedal systems, and to even some of the latest and greatest technologies from around the world of sim racing. So the series heads to Darlington next week. But more to the point, thank you so much for joining us here tonight. On the calendar, after Darlington, we head to Charlotte and then Dover to complete the first 10 weeks out of 15. Daytona Road Course on May 17th. 1 week later, we go to Las Vegas, then to the place where Ricky Bobby made his mark in Hollywoodland, Talladega, and then on Bristol Speedway on June 7th. Then Homestead rounds out the 15-week calendar on June 14th. Until next time, race hard, race fair, and if in doubt, well, you better go flat out. We'll see you next time. Good night.